Hey everybody, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the Raxium CXR Series V2 LED headlights with black housings and clear lenses, fitting 2018 to 2020 F-150s, excluding the Raptor models. The CXR V2s are a great choice for the F-150 owner who's after the most lighting output they can get for the best price. These are an aggressive and modern looking fully LED lighting setup that works to modernize the front end of your truck, and it packs a ton of output into a really slick package. The CXR V2s take the style of the regular CXRs and they bump things up a little bit, both in style and in lighting output. And while these do look like they could have been a factory option, their output is worlds away from your factory lights. Now inside, you of course have those black internal housings that generally make these things look pretty aggressive. But the bigger story is that there are four bi-LED ice cube style projectors running the entire height of the light housing. Now these again are all bi-LED units, so they're going to function as your high and low beams. All four of them will come on for both. Now the fact that these main elements are projectors mean that they will have a wide beam pattern with a nice sharp cutoff and a very crisp output. Make no mistake, these are really bright. And they also put out a pretty cool temperature light somewhere in the 5000 K range, so they put off more of a brighter white light as opposed to factory halogens where you would get something that's a little bit more yellow. Now of course you do get more LEDs around the outside here, and those are going to function as your daytime running lights and turn signals. The DRLs illuminate a diffused white color and they're going to switch to amber when you activate your turn signals, and then switch back of course when the signals are off. That gives these a really modern, clean look, and I think it makes the front end of this truck look even just that little bit more aggressive. Plus the turn signals are sequential, and while that doesn't add anything functionally, I'm always just a fan of sequential turn signals. The outer housings here are made from ABS plastic, which is known for its lightweight and its durability, and makes it a standard of the auto industry. Look at pretty much any headlight and you're gonna see something very similar here. Much the same is true for the lenses, which are the industry standard polycarbonate, but these also feature a UV coating over top for added protection, so they're not gonna craze or get yellow like a lot of other lights would. You also have integrated heat sinks to keep the electronics cool and running properly, and the entire thing is weather sealed to keep out dirt and moisture. Plus you've got all the LEDs inside taking care of your lighting elements, and that means that these should be very durable and they should last you a long time. You really don't have to worry about them once you've got them in. The CXRs are also DOT and SAE approved, meaning that they are fully street legal, and they have integrated adjusters right here on the back. And I gotta say, when I pulled these out of the box, I was pretty darn impressed. These are a really nice set of headlights, and if you're looking for something that's high quality, these are gonna be a great choice for you. Of course, that does mean you're gonna have to pay the price for them. About that though, pricing for the set as you see them here is gonna come in at about $1,700. Now that does put them at the higher end of the segment. Make no mistake though, like I was just talking about, these have a really great output. You've got all those LEDs inside, and they are definitely a premium product. Of course, the price is going to reflect that, but if you want a well-integrated, good-looking setup with solid build quality for your truck, look no further. They're gonna give you all the output, the material quality, and the good looks you'd expect from some other big name brands, but they do undercut the price of those by a pretty significant margin. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. So these will plug right in place of your factory lights. You don't have to do any wiring, you just gotta plug a bunch of stuff in. So that makes these a job that pretty much anyone can accomplish at home. With that though, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the process.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, a clip remover tool, an extension, 7, 8, 10, and 13 millimeter sockets, and a T25 Torx socket.
What's up guys? Today we're installing a set of headlights on our F-150. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory headlights, and then I'll meet you right back here for the install.
First thing we need to do to remove our headlights is remove this filler panel underneath our grille. And to do that, there are 2 screws on either end of this filler panel in the fender lip area. Then we're going to use our 7 millimeter socket to remove those 2 screws on each side. All right, so we've got 2 7 millimeter bolts right here on the inside of the fender lip. So we're going to go ahead and remove those with our 7 millimeter socket. And now you can remove the 2 screws on the other side of the vehicle. Now with our screws removed, we can just grab a hold of the inside edge of this filler panel and start pulling it away. It's only held in with plastic clips, so we just grab a hold, give it a tug, and start pulling it away. Next thing we're going to do is remove our radiator shroud here, and we've got 14 push pins that we need to remove. To do that, we're going to use our trim removal tool and just pop these up out of the way. Now with the push pins removed, we should just be able to lift this up and pull it away. All right, next we've got a couple of connectors here that need to be disconnected. Depending on the configuration of your truck, you may have one or two, but let's go ahead and get those disconnected first, and then we'll remove the 4 10mm bolts on top to go ahead and remove our grill. So here are our connectors. You're just gonna reach in, push down on the release lever, and disconnect it. Same thing for the other one. Now, like I said, you may have one or more. Just push in on the release lever and pop it out. Now you may also have a plastic push pin connector right here to hold the harness in place. Ours happens to be missing, but just go ahead and pop that out with your trim removal tool, and then we can remove the 4 bolts on the top. Now we've got 2 13mm bolts, one in the corner here and one on the other side of the grill. So we'll go ahead and remove those, and then we can slide our grill out. All right, now just grab a hold of your grill and pull it straight back. All right, now we're ready to remove our headlight. And to do that, we've got 2 10mm screws at the top here, plus this plastic push pin. So we'll use our trim removal tool to remove the plastic push pin and our 10mm socket to remove those 2 bolts. All right, now we've got 3 more to remove at the bottom here. We've got an 8mm here on the inside, a 10mm next to it, and another 10mm on the outside. So we'll go ahead and take those out. And now we'll get our 8mm. All right, now we need to separate this plastic trim piece at the bottom from our headlight. So we'll use our trim removal tool and just pry this down and get it separated. And then we can go ahead and pull our headlight straight back. Now we can disconnect our 3 connectors at the back of our light simply by pushing in on the release lever on the connector and pulling it straight back. And now you can repeat that process for the other light.
So now with our factory headlight removed, we're gonna have to remove this lower bracket to transfer over to our new one. We have 3 T25 Torx screws that I'm gonna take a T25 Torx socket to remove, and then we can just run them into the new headlight as they are self-tapping. And now with those screws removed, we're just gonna pull down on our bracket and then slide it off of those 2 posts, and then we'll transfer this over to our new one. And then just do the opposite, lay it down on those 2 posts, and then slide it into place, and then you can run your screws in. And then just do that same thing for your other headlights, and we'll get these on the truck. Now, if your factory headlights use a single connector like this one, you're gonna have to use this adapter harness. Now, these connectors are gonna go onto the back of the headlight. They're already plugged in on the back of the headlight, so you would just disconnect them and match up the 3-pin and the 4-pin connector with this harness. Now, we have the 3 separate connectors on our factory headlights, so we can just plug and play with the connectors coming off the back of our headlight. So now we can plug in our 3 connectors, slide our headlight into place, and then I'm just gonna put that push clip at the top of the headlight in place just to hold it in while we get our bolts installed. Now, all 3 of these connectors are different, so you can't mess this up. Just gonna push it in until it clicks. And then you can tuck your wires back out of the way. Slide the headlight into place, and then get your push clip up top. Now we can start at the top of our headlight, reinstalling our 2 bolts. This is where that push clip goes that I installed in the last clip. And then we'll just get this all straightened out and take a 10mm socket to tighten these down. Next, we can come to the bottom and reinstall our 3 bolts. So you're gonna want to take your air dam and slide that tab with the U-clip up into that bottom bracket, and then thread in your bolt. And then take that 8mm bolt for the next one. And then another 10mm bolt for the outside corner. And then take your 10mm socket for the first 2, and then swap to an 8mm socket for the last one. And then repeat that process on the other side. Next, we can line up the tabs on our grill and press it into place. One thing to note is you want to make sure that that harness with the 2 connectors is up out of the way so it doesn't get tucked behind the grill. Now we can come to the top of our grill, reconnect our 2 connectors, and install our 4 bolts. And then take your 10mm socket and tighten those all down. Next, we can come to the lower corner of our grill and reinstall our 13mm bolt. And take a 13mm socket to tighten it down. And then do that same thing on the other side. Next, we can line up and reinstall our lower trim. And then we can wrap it around the sides. Next, we can come down to our wheel well and reinstall our 2 screws. And then we'll take a 7mm socket to tighten those down and do the same thing on the other side. Now lastly, we can reinstall our rad cover and all of our clips. So we're gonna slide this under our intake duct here. Lay it down into place, and then reinstall our clips. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Raxium CXR Series V2 LED headlights with black housing and clear lens for your 2018 to 20 F-150 excluding Raptor. Thank you for watching, and for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.